Here we leave the village of Zanskar and get down to the main road leading to Manali through Padam. After a 3/4 hour drive, we are back on the road overlooking Tibetan in the village of Kishrak. The taxi dropped me off at the bridge that crosses the Zanskar river. Before returning to Philly, I take a short 2-hour hike to Sheila Falls, which is frozen over at this time. The raging Zanskar river, which is not yet completely frozen. I plan to cross the river here and walk along the road to Sheila village, which also passes a military base and a high school. The river seems particularly violent in this section. As shown in my previous videos, 2 bridges cross the river, an older one and a new one. The main road crosses the latter. Here is the view of the new bridge from the old one. Although this section of the river is no longer called Zanskar, but Sarip. After turning off the main road, a narrow road continues towards the waterfall. The road carries very little traffic, as it only leads to the village, where the road does not lead further. This is so present in practice that only those who go to or come from Sheila village use this road. Nevertheless, the road is in excellent condition, as testament to India's rapidly developing infrastructure even in this remote, desolate region. You do not need to be extremely fit to go on a trekking trip, but choosing the right option, suiting to you, is essential. Remember, a trip to any high-altitude region requires acclimatization. As for Ladakh, there is no hike that can be taken lightly. Acclimatization is the process of adjusting the body to rarefaction of air at high elevation. Most of us need a few days of acclimatization to any altitude higher than 2,500 meters. Inadequate adjustment to high altitude can lead to altitude sickness and, in its most severe forms, a quick death. Never ignore any symptoms of altitude sickness. If you have a headache combined with dizziness, sleep disturbance, lost appetite, nausea or vomiting, do not ascend. Descend or stay at the same altitude until you recover completely. If you have more severe symptoms that may include breathlessness at rest, fast, shallow breathing, cough, chest tightness, drowsiness and loss of coordination while walking, descend immediately. If you have previously trekked at high altitude and been unaffected, do not assume that you will never suffer from altitude sickness, as it is a fickle condition. As weird as it is, for me, more severe symptoms appeared after a month and a half of stay at high altitude, when I thought I was over it. In the Tibetan Buddhist world, characteristic piles of stones indicate that I am approaching an inhabited area. And of course, the gate, which cannot be missed in this region, marks the border of the village. In India, they used to be called stupas, today they are called topes, but in the area of southern Buddhism, for example in Ceylon, they are called dagob. They play a similar role as roadside chapels or crucifixes at home in Europe. They hide votive religious monuments and the relics of deceased Buddhist saints. Along the paths, there are long human-height piles of stones and real walls, the so-called mani rims, prayer walls. Pilgrims going there place new, large flat stones on them, and on the stone slabs are engraved the sacred words of Tibetan Buddhism. Om Mani Padme Hum. We arrived. Sheila waterfall is located in a small village called Sheila that it is named after, at a distance of 4.5 kilometers from Padam. It is not often that you hear about waterfalls in the barren landscapes of Ladakh and Zanskar, and this really made me unsure of whether or not to visit Sheila waterfall. There is no local cab or bus service to the village. It is by no means a huge waterfall, neither in terms of size nor the volume of the water. I have seen bigger waterfalls, much bigger. The specialty of the waterfall is that it is now completely frozen. The usual feeding of cattle in the morning in the village of Kisrak. After lunch today, taking advantage of the opportunity that a teacher who works here is going home for the winter break to his native village, to Char, I am going with him. There is a simple reason for my intention. Phuktal Gompa is a 3 to 4 hour walk from Char village. There's no easy way to Phuktal. We left Padam in the afternoon for Char. The high-quality asphalt road leads to Aru. After Aru, the road is under construction. The teacher sums it up by saying that the hard part of driving comes after Aru. And indeed, this section is pretty enjoyable ride. In fact, I can't even imagine what this region might look like in summer, because I only know Ladakh in winter. But now it is stunningly scenic. The temperature contrast is so great that there can be a difference of up to 10 degrees Celsius between the temperature of shaded and sunny surfaces. However, the road quality is not perfect even on this section, and rockfalls are common. What complicates the situation is that only one lane can be used at a time on most road sections. This means that one vehicle must stand aside until the other one passes, by reversing if necessary. Sometimes a section is completely closed due to rockfalls, avalanche danger, or road construction. Getting anywhere in Ladakh by road is uncertain and doubtful, especially in winter. If the road is passable today, it may not be tomorrow, or vice versa. Not to mention the high passes, which are the most critical sections of the road. This is Raru, where we had a tea break at the teacher's sister's house, who lives here. As I said before, the quality of the road on this section is no longer the best possible in this region. Of course, this is partly because, as I mentioned, the road section is not complete. The creation of terraces in the rock wall that provide the surface of the road carries additional dangers. When the road is fully constructed, it will be the second major highway between Manali and Leh. Ladakh is not famous for its large settlements, but the village of Char is considered small even in Ladakhi terms. This is the main street of the village, which counts only 25 households each. Accommodation is provided by the teacher, who, taking advantage of the beginning of the long winter school break, will drive to Manali tomorrow. As for me, I'm going to rest, and then tomorrow I'll set off on foot to Phuktal. I will need to rest indeed. The path leading to Phuktal is neither easy nor safe. I will spend a full day and 2 nights in the cave monastery before returning here to Char village. I won't find the teacher here anymore, but his family's house will welcome me back. See you in the next part.